Nifty Noodles. I'll give it 2 or 3 minutes just to see who's going to join today. I'm hoping that the live has started. I'm just checking. Why is it down there? Here we go. Okay. Right, swipe left to reveal comments. I think I'm the first one here today, which does make sense, doesn't it? Because it is me. I'm just going to move my mat a little bit. I think I've moved it the wrong way. Yes, let's move it that way, so that I actually can craft in the middle. Okay, I'm possibly just on past, so I'm a little bit early today. Just sit back and relax and have a slurp of coffee. Oh gosh, everybody's here. I hadn't turned my comments on. I do apologise. I'm sat here talking to myself. So here we go. It's why I always need an assistant. Hello Christine. Hello Mandy. Linda. Hello Moira. Good morning. Hi Jane. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning. Today I'm going to be making a card that is really quite simple, no folds in it, a little bit of cutting. Moira knows what I'm doing because I'd already prepped this card. I'd had it in mind for a couple of weeks. You will have seen this before. I prepped a couple of cards over the weekend, and then lo and behold, Sunday night Moira made a beautiful card. She popped it on the Creative Minds Kind Hearts Facebook page, and it's what I'm making today. So I have checked with Moira, haven't I? And she's happy for me to go ahead with it today. Otherwise, goodness knows what you'd have ended up with. So the card I am making today is a version of what Moira did herself. Beautiful card on Sunday. This is my version of the card. I have no idea what it's called, so Moira or anybody else who may have made one, any ideas greatly appreciated. But essentially we're looking at, certainly on this one, a 6x6 card blank, cutting off the 2 corners and positioning them at an angle to create that effect for the front of your card, and then obviously it will stand up. Now the one thing I have found, as I've made a similar style but a bit different to this previously, when you do something like that, I find that the back tends to be a little bit on the high side. So whilst I can't change this now because I've put the card on there, I do, before I start, and I'll show you, tend to cut off a little bit off the back of the card, and it does actually stand up a little bit better then. I have used on this one some really old Kanban card. I'm just checking. Hello Leslie, hello Miriam. I think I might have already said hello Miriam, but hello again. These are cards that I must have had 9 years, something like that. And near to where I live there used to be a Kanban outlet factory place, and I got quite a handful of these cards. They're great actually. Now I've started to use them. They come in gingham check stripes, blue on white spots, white on blue spots, and I've also got them in pink and a very pale kind of lilac colour, and sort of a pastel, I don't know what to call it, turquoisey kind of colour, greeny colour. Anyway, so that's what we're going to make today. What I've done on my card is, when I've cut the triangles off and positioned them, I've actually put them over the top. Now, when Moira did her card, let's just show you this one that I made earlier as well. With this one, the triangular corner cut-offs I've actually put underneath the papers on the top triangle section. Okay, so you get a very different look both same principle. Oh, a diamond point card, thank you Moira. I'll have to remember that. Okay, I'm just looking, what have I missed? Who's from Burton on Leslie? Hello from Burton on Trent. Did it with the points on the inside. Yes, it is a great shape, and I'm sorry for those of you who have already made one of these, but I just thought it was a really super style, not too hard, and this one's a little 5x5, so useful for little bits of paper, maybe offcuts to a degree. Now my glass cutting mat is always slippy, but on this one, what can I put it against? You can probably see, hopefully now, that I have the 3 points of my triangles. I'm just waiting for the film to catch up with me. Just 2 or 3 mil longer than the front, so I've cut off about 3 mil from the base on the backing bit, and I can't really show you because I'm not moving my mat now, it's in position, but just taking that little bit off the back does make it stand up a lot better. Okay, again, I'm using bits and pieces up. This card was made with some papers from Splash Crafts, and there was some, oh gosh, I've had those I think about 3 years from a workshop with Sue Taylor and Jill Cox. Found them in the bottom of my Christmas drawer. That was the Kanban one. And then, I don't think Elizabeth's watching today, but I just have to tell everybody, I did some embossing on this one. I don't like embossing, but I put this together again, little bits of papers that I had left from, again, a workshop with Sue and Jill, so I've no idea what make they were. And they're highly patterned, but I thought they went together, but I didn't have a topper that went with the papers, and I just thought, right, okay, where do we go from here? So Lisa Horton festive double layered sentiments stamps and outline dies I decided to use, but because of the colours on the papers and there isn't a hint of black anywhere, I just thought I can't just stamp the sentiment in black. My reds aren't the right colour, my greens possibly, but I didn't feel that green was the right colour to use for the snowflake. So bit the bullets, got my embossing out, and I've actually not made a bad job of that, although I say so myself. So again with this, I've cut the back down just about 3 mil to make it stand up nicely. And then this morning, so I was thinking, you can do it with any size square card, but then I thought, yeah, it doesn't just have to be square, so let's very quickly, before I get into making it, oh gosh, an 8x8 one more. I did think it looked quite a large card, Moira. Points on the inside. Okay, so we're back on Lily of the Valley backing papers, which I now have, I think, 2 full sheets of these papers left, so quite distraught that they're at the end of the life. Lots of bits though. So I've got a 5x7 here, and again this time I've put the points on the inside so we get a little bit of snowflake, and I have cut out from one of the Lily of the Valley art sheets that I've had for quite a long time. You get 4 images on the art sheets. I've still got, these are my last 2 pugs, I need to make the most of those, but this is the 3rd year I've been making Christmas cards with pugs on. Don't know about anybody else, but this is how sad my life is sometimes. I actually make a note of what type of card I've sent to which person so they don't get a similar one 2 years in a row. God, I feel ridiculous saying that, but I'm probably not the only one that does that. And same principle, stands up great, does that with just a tiny bit cut off the back of the card. Okay, so let's have a look at how we make it. And I'm using today, gosh, this is ancient, the Canterbury collection, again from Kanban. It was in their factory sale, these, what, 8-9 years ago. And I've hardly, I know there's a lot of bits of paper here, but I have hardly touched these papers. And oh gosh, I love that one. These are just beautiful. The quality is lovely, and they've got like not a sheen, but they're so smooth to touch. And every single paper in here will coordinate. There were a couple of foiled ones, and it's perhaps why it was partly in the sale. It's all scratched the surface, so I've not really used that, but decided I like those. So today we are going to start off with a 6x6 card blank, and I have, whilst there's a pencil mark on for the centre, I have cut off about 3mm from the bottom of the back. Okay, working with the front of your card, I have marked the centre of the front of the card at the bottom edge, and I am going to cut from the fold down to the centre of the card, and I'm going to cut that on both sides. So just bear with me 1 second whilst I line this up in my little trimmer and cut off the triangles. Okay, so that's come off that side, so I'm going to keep it there, and the other side. So working with triangles, you all know how awkward they can be in terms of directional papers, so sometimes it is easier to use a totally non-directional paper when you're using triangles. Okay, otherwise, yeah, it all just goes a bit cockeyed. Okay, just having a quick look. Hello Pat, thank you for joining us this morning. Oh Moira, you've got those papers as well. I've got another 2 paper pads similar to that from Kanban. One's black and pink and the other's kind of, I think, pink, grey and cream. Funny combination, but it works. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here, I've written myself a note. It was 14.8, not quite 5 inches, are they? Oh sorry, 6 inches. And I've cut off 3mm from the bottom. I can write on there because I'm going to cover it with paper. Chosen one of the nice flowered papers, and as per my usual style, I have cut this with a 2mm border around each side. Okay, just works nicely for me having that little bit of white. What I'm not going to do today with these, because the papers are, yeah, quite highly patterned, and the colours are on the rest of the ones that I've got are quite dark, I'm not actually going to matte and layer, although with some of the others that I did, I think the Splash Crafts card I did, I've lost it now. I have no idea where that card has gone. It's there somewhere, but hey, I'll find it later. I did matte and layer. Just takes a little bit longer, obviously, cutting your papers out. And we all know how tricky it is matting and layering triangles. But once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. So that's the bottom bit. Okay. What I've chosen for the front top triangle is a lovely blue, not quite paisley, but really quite a nicely highly patterned, but only 2 colours, so it's not too fussy to go on there. So this, I tell you, it's so easy. With my triangles, everybody will probably have their own way of measuring what they do, but I tend to put my ruler, let's open it out and show you what I do. I tend to put my ruler on the top and think, right, where do I actually want my card, my paper to start? So I'd be looking at, it's just by eye, I don't measure it, but I go in a little bit, probably about maybe 3mm rather than 2, and take my measurement off there for the top. Once you've got your square penciled out, obviously it's similar sort of scenario, pop your ruler slightly down, cut 2 to 3mm from the top, and I don't necessarily measure, but I look by eye and think, right, okay, that's about where the point of the triangle is going to be, and measure to that point to create my triangle. So not rocket science as such, sometimes trial and error, and the thing I hate most about triangles is getting that little bit of glue right in the corner, because there is nothing worse, is there, than having the point of your triangle not stuck down. Okay. So wet glue on these, because they probably will need a bit of squishing around. Okay, so yeah, that's just about right with the white showing around the edges. I've got it slightly lopsided, so with using the wet glue I can just move it around, give that a good press down. Okay, so my two triangles, okay, that I've cut off the front, I'm using spotty paper. As I said, something non-directional is best, okay, otherwise your eyes like don't know where to look. Okay, now with these, I've not got this quite right yet. I've tried to measure in and leave a very small border around there. However, this piece here doesn't seem quite right, so I'm just going to take a real small slither off the bottom and up the side. So I will do that just on the little guillotine trimmer, and hope I don't take too much off. Okay. Right, so when I put that on, that's much better now. Okay, I'm a lot happier with that. And I'm just not sure whether I need to take a tiny bit off the side of this one as well. Okay. See, I didn't quite prepare right today, did I? Okay. Haven't measured the white card, but I've got, yeah, probably about 2mm edge if I'm lucky around there. Okay, so very quickly glue these papers, go right up there onto the base card, and without an awful lot of work, once you get into the swing of something like this, yes, there's a bit of cutting and measuring, but if you wanted to do a few of these, saying like batch make some Christmas cards, the thing is, once you've got your size of card and once you've got your first layered triangle cut for this, you can cut loads of them, can't you, out of different papers, because you've got the size. Okay, so rather than do one, make it up, do the next one, or yeah, make yourself a template. Okay, and then it makes everything so much easier, and you very, very quickly turn an ordinary, not that there's any such thing as an ordinary handmade card, but you turn a reasonably straightforward square card into something really quite extraordinary, and a shape which I'm sure whoever you're sending a card to won't get one the same. You don't see something like this in the shops, do you? Okay, so paper's done. Hello Anita, I'm not sure whether you were here, oh you might have been here earlier, but hello. Okay, so these are going on the top. I decided that I'd have them on the top of the card and keep the spot theme going. So trickiest bit then for me, I've just got a little bit of glue down there. I now, courtesy, I know you're not watching Mary, but thank you, courtesy of Mary, I have a glue rubber. You're going to line these up. This is tricky, right? I'm going to put that on the bottom. I need this point. You've started off like that, I must say. Okay, you twist it sideways. I'm going to make sure that that point is just popping over about the same amount as on there. And when you line up the corner of your top of triangle with the edge of your base card, it should be parallel to your triangle. It should all fit nicely together by eye. I did have my ruler out to make sure that it actually did that for my other cards, but I'm going to do this by eye. Okay, you're going to glue this down, so it's one of those where you need to make sure you're only gluing the section that's going to go on top of there. So what I will do is I'll place my ruler kind of over there, so that I can see each side now that I mustn't go past that line, and I'm going to glue right up to the top but not to the bottom, because I've got enough glue on there. And this is where I need to be careful. Okay, so line that up with the edge of your card, little point here just overlapping to the same extent as your main triangle, and it looks level there, and the tip of that triangle just touches where my layered paper, coloured paper is. Okay, so I can press that one down, and then I'm going to repeat and do exactly the same thing with the triangle on your right. So that will corner sit on the outside edge, overlap the bottom just a wee bit, and it will look parallel to your front main triangle. Okay, so on this one I only want to glue, well, I could glue, yeah, from about there. Okay, nothing like measuring and marking with fingers, is there? Okay, get the glue as far up as you can, not too much on there. Okay, so here we go. Make sure my card's straight, line it up with the outside edge, make sure that all of those points are going to be equal. Okay, and the other guide is the tip of that triangle doesn't protrude outside of my paper line. Okay, that's fiddliest bit. Okay, but that's all done now. Okay, so all the colours coordinate on there. So I'm going to finish it off exactly like, well, not quite, oh yeah, almost exactly like the first one that I showed you. And I have cut out, somebody's told me where these flowers came from, and I'm sorry I can't remember, but I have a set of 3 flowers of different sizes in this sort of design where the top cuts out. Right, I haven't cleaned my glue this morning. Okay, so I'm only going to glue the centre of that. I'm not going to glue it all down. Pop it on top of there. Creates a nice kind of 3D flower, because you can still lift up some of the centre bits to give it some dimension. Okay, I've also cut out with the little foliage die from the Lisa Horton Craft magazine some leaves, and then I used the Hello die from the Squiggled Script Sentiments. Okay, and I've used is that the same paper? Anyway, I've used papers out of the kit, but I don't think they're actually papers of any of what I've already used, but the blue is exactly the same. The background colour coordinates. Okay, so that flower is going to go somewhere near there. Sentiment I will pop down there. Okay, so I need to position my foliage on there. I might just pop in 3 bits of foliage. Okay, one of the bits of foliage has got a little chink out of it, because I was trying to, as we all do, use every little bit of paper. So I've just tiny little bit of glue on the back of here and stick them somewhere where I know the flower's going to cover it up. I don't know why I pretend to position them all first. There's somebody's house alarm going off in the background. As long as it's mine, it's okay. Oh gosh, who's got one leg longer than the other? You make everything squinty. Oh gosh, is that a technical term, Miriam? Squinty? Leg longer than the other. Okay, so foliage in place, little bit of glue on the back of my flower. Pop that in there, and then I did actually use some foam pads to raise the happy birthday on the first card, but I think I'm just going to glue this down. I think that was partly because it was card that I used on card, so it was thicker triangles, but with this being paper it's not quite as thick. I hate doing things like this. I need it to look like it's in the middle. I need to bring it down just a little bit. Okay, press that down. I do very few birthday specific cards these days. I just find that I send cards more generically. Okay, so that's pretty much finished. What I'm just going to do is put a little gem in the centre, like I did on the other one, and gosh, I don't know where I got these. They could have been the range pre-COVID and lockdown, but these little gems just fit perfectly in the middle of there. Stands up beautifully, and I will obviously write on the back of that card because it's a little bit too fussy in there, but and also may encroach over the spaces. So there's your, I forget what it was called, 3-pointed triangle card. I'll have a look back and see what the card is called, but that's it for today. It might be a Scottish term. Oh god. So Mandy, you're going to have a go at this today. Oh gosh, that'd be great. I can't wait to see it. Perhaps if you've got some blue papers, you could oh gosh, I could have this for Colour Me Happy as well, couldn't I? Because it's blue. Okay, so yeah, nice and easy. Love to see what you all make with this design. I hope you find it easy, reasonably easy. As I say, not fancy folds, but 2 cuts. Get your triangles right, and it's a super design, and one, there are a lot of them around on Pinterest. It isn't exclusive to me by any means, and we know Moira's made one. Somebody else, you've seen them before, but I hope you've enjoyed today, and that I've given you perhaps something that you've seen and weren't sure how to go about it. So hopefully you've got something to take away from today, and let's see what I can come up with next week for you. So thank you all for joining me this morning, and hope to see you again next week. Okay, bye from me. It would be bye if I could see where to turn it off. Bye folks.